Pounders, welcome back. We are doing some more Battle Royale on Underdog today. A little early, maybe too early, but definitely going to get a first look on some of these drafts and how they're going. I've noticed this is sometimes the best way to get an edge on these drafts before people really know where these players' ADP should be falling. And some of my favorite teams so far that I'm drafting are revolving around Jamar Chase and Kelsey at the 3 or 4 spot. Patrick Mahomes most likely not going to be a mobile quarterback this week with a high ankle sprain being diagnosed as of yesterday. So Isaiah Pacheco sort of becomes an option late, especially on a slate where the running back position is ugly. It really is. Are we interested in a Miles Sanders after we just saw that 3-headed running back hydra they just ran with this past week? Boston Scott stealing a touchdown. It's pretty ugly. It's as bad as we thought. So let's sort of just wait on these drafts on running back, in my opinion. If you're not getting CMC, if you're not getting Joe Mixon, I like Isaiah Pacheco this week, and he's not going to cost you a lot of draft capital, going pretty far down. So let's see how this draft falls. I'm loving Joey B this week, even over Jalen Hurts. So I'm going to pick at 7. We are going to go with Travis Kelce here. I want 2 of these 3 players in almost all of my drafts. If I can do that, I think we're in very good shape. Good morning, Bri. Welcome back. I hope your drafts went well. It was a pretty strange week for Battle Royale. Definitely have some stuff to note. Jerick McKinnon, not always going to get you 2 touchdowns through the air. I think that has a lot to do with Mahomes. Mahomes' injury. Here we go. So we're getting an A.J. Brown Kelsey start. I don't care if he goes Joe Burrow. He's got Chase. That's great. We can get Mahomes, and we ended up with a Kelsey, A.J. Brown, Mahomes start. I mean, that'd be beautiful. And if he doesn't go QB, only one team after me needs a QB. So we do not feel forced to take one here. Let's go TT. Just give me these positional players. I'm able to now go Joe Burrow or Patrick Mahomes, having one of the pass catchers, so leaving myself open for some options. Now we will go Patrick Mahomes. And now we have a stack with a bring back as well, which is pretty well planned. So he doesn't have to go Purdy here. This is a mistake. Everyone has a QB at this point. He should be last picking Purdy. That's a sort of a rookie mistake that we can note. Man, I don't mind having my running back be Elijah Mitchell or Gainwell, to be honest. But it's a matter of, will they get sniped? And will we have to go Scott? I think we risk it for the biscuit here. Only one of them can be picked. I would rather Elijah Mitchell. This guy, baby, can't go running back. And Elijah Mitchell has red zone, touchdown, eligibility here. 14 touches. Getting a lot of use with CMC being hurt. Ryan's going before Elijah Mitchell. So this is like the early ADP that I'm talking about that we can really take advantage of. There's no way Mitchell is going to be behind P. Ryan in maybe even a few hours. Yeah. They like Mitchell in the red zone. We got CMC sort of banged up with that calf. McCaffrey, no pun intended. And let's jump into another one of these. I love this squad. I drafted a team 2 weeks ago on Battle Royale, and I just posted it right to the Instagram like, hey, like Josh Allen, perfect candidate where you don't have to stack him with any of your pass catchers. And I just felt good about the lineup. It came in 61st out of 45K. I like that last team that we just drafted right there. That one felt right, you know? That one felt right. Let's see. So we are picking from the 1 spot. I honestly believe Joe Burrow is going to outscore anyone on this QB slate here. So what can we do? If we fully expect Chase, Joe Mixon, Kelsey, AJ Brown to be gone, we could bring it back with a Devonta Smith and T. Higgins. The 1 spot's tough. I don't like the 1 spot right now. We're going to go Joe Burrow. The 1 spot is tough to get value. A little morning coffee for the grind. Necessary. Mark Chase goes at 2. I believe that. Like, I think that's correct. Maybe Joe Burrow, Chase, Jalen Hurts. I think that's really the correct ADP. But you got to remember, this was a snow game as well. So T. Higgins, yeah, did he only get 4 targets, 3 catches for 20? Yes. It was a snow game. So they had Hurst heavily involved, which he gets in the end zone, he makes it a good day. If he doesn't get in the end zone again, he ends up with around 7.5 points. So very touchdown dependent. Kelsey gets sniped, which is fine. I am liking that. Did T. Higgins really go at 5? What is this draft? I'm fine with, I guess, not having any of the pass catchers on, since he's pretty weird. Could always go like a Tyler Boyd or a Hurst as the tight end. Let's see who falls. These are interesting 4-man drafts. Okay, both tight ends go. So we are going to have to maybe slightly reach on Hurst because we are the first pick. I don't think he's going to fall to 24. He's already been sniped. In one of my previous drafts, when we tried doing that, tried being cute. We have Joe Mixon, which he is one of those running backs where he's very easily stackable with the QB because he's been catching a lot of passes this year. He can get in the end zone through the air. Okay. We're going to go Ayuk. And we're going to go Hayden Hurst. Because if someone snipes Hurst and this team picked 2 tight ends, this team doesn't have a tight end yet. And he picked T. Higgins at 5, so he's doing some crazy things right now. If we don't get Hurst, we get boxed out completely, and you're hoping for, I don't know, 3 to 7 points from Noah Gray. Not looking to do that. So our last pick is going to be a high upside wide receiver running back. I think Elijah Mitchell might be the highest upside. Elijah Mitchell and Juju are going to be the highest upside guys. Even Kadarius Toney as well. It's just tough to really take last night's game into like strong consideration with snap count and this and that because of the Mahomes injury, because of different factors. So I typically like Gainwell, but they're going up against the #1 rush defense. So I'm sort of fading everyone on the Philly side on the ground this week. All right, let's bring it back with the KC player. Let's bring it back with the KC player. We already had a mini stack between Ayuk, so we didn't want to bring another San Fran player in. I think that's the right call. And we had Joe Burrow with Hurst and Joe Mixon. You bring in Juju on the other side of the ball. Get some correlation. I think that is the right move. It is the right move. Is it going to work? Depends. I guess we'll see. Let's go. This is what we were waiting for. 4 spot. 4 spot. Tell me we get 2 of these players. I just think that is a nutty advantage, especially if Jamar Chase falls. Travis Kelce with 17 targets. You love to see it. You love to see it. Sort of like last week, I fully expect some of these positional players to hop in front of Mahomes. If I could just get a Joe Burrow Chase start, that would be a happy hallelujah. Here we go. Kelce at 2. McCaffrey at 3. Well, this guy's a Mahomes fan. Bombay, big Mahomes guy. All right, welcome to the winner circle. Welcome to the winner circle. Unreal. Unreal. All right. How are we going to bring this back? Oh my God, is AJ Brown really going to be there? Bombay, you've been reaching all day. I didn't mean to rhyme. Don't pick AJ Brown. He's hurt. You don't want AJ Brown. Could go a double stack with T. Higgins, even if AJ Brown does go. I'm cool with either one of these. Yeah, Brown's gone. Yeah. I'm fine with that. I think we do this or this. I think this is super interesting here. I mean, come on. Like, I know we're going to be spreading ourselves thin at tight end. Excuse me. And running back. But we're going for highest ceiling. And a double stack with Joe Burrow against KC, who probably has the weakest defense out of the remaining defenses. I believe this gives us the highest ceiling. And if Isaiah Pacheco makes it back, this is really... okay. Elijah Mitchell's gone. So one more guy can select a running back. This is a random pick. So this is what we're looking at. If Hurst goes, they'll honestly just kill the lineup. We'd have to just pray for a Noah Gray touchdown. Okay. All right. I love it. We're still getting our KC correlation on the other side of the ball in this game. In a game where he's gonna need mobility from his running backs. Most likely going to be playing from behind in the Cincy game, or at least the way we have this lineup, it makes sense to go Jerick McKinnon over Isaiah Pacheco. We're assuming Joe Burrow is going to score a lot of points with Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Hurst. Don't love a triple stack. It lowers the chance. It lowers your floor, which is fine. It raises your ceiling. Not a lot of teams will have. I honestly think this will be a solo lineup. Jerick McKinnon falling all the way to 20. Chase with Joe Burrow and the T. Higgins stack with Deebs. I think that's just outright beautiful. I think the 3 spot and the 4 spot, easily the best places to draft from. Getting 2 of these positional players is just enormous. Look how far Debo is down here. This is not going to last. There's no way this is going to last. That's why I love getting in these battle royales nice and early before the ADP really settles. So there's sometimes risk with like injuries, right? You don't have all the information yet, so there is a little more risk. It looks like Patrick Mahomes is going to play through it, which is just championship mentality. It's going to affect a lot of shit with him not being able to be as mobile, running on the outside, drawing a defender in. He won't be drawing too many people to him, worrying about the run. So it's not going to open up as many pass catchers for him with that strategy, but it's Patrick Mahomes. He can still get it done. Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, we assume this is going to be a pretty high-scoring game. Philly, San Fran. I think that's going to be lower than people are thinking. So my number 1 on the board is going to be Jamar Chase here. It's surprising that Kelsey is going after Mixon, but I sort of understand it where the running back slate's pretty ugly. After Mixon, I mean, I think Pacheco's pretty good as like just hedging the KC side of things. They're going to need to put together long drives to keep Joe Burrow off the field. So I think Pacheco's going to have a pretty large role this week. Kelsey, Burrow. So maybe this will be our Purdy lineup. Yeah, that's cool. So let's San Fran. I would have liked to get McCaffrey there, but that's cool. So let's say Joe Mixon puts 1 in on the ground, sort of hedges the bet for. Oh my God, he went McKinnon at 8. Are we getting AJ Brown? No, I was gonna say, holy. So we don't have to pick Brock Purdy until our last pick. Let's go Kittle here. Let's go Kittle. Let's see if Debo falls back to us. This guy went double tight end, which is cool. I'm fine with either one of these. Debo goes T. Higgins, right? Yeah, I have to go T. Higgins with the correlation in the KC game. I like that. So everyone has their QB. So we will just wait on Brock Purdy. We have our double stack with Kittle and Ayuk. We're not going to be interested in Tyler Boyd. We were going to be interested in a Juju. As a bring back for this KC side of things, we can do Kadarius Toney. We could do Isaiah Pacheco. Interesting. I'm going to go Pacheco here. I think this lineup came out pretty damn good. It's different, right? So you got the double stack with Ayuk and Kittle with Brock Purdy. Can it hit? Yeah, it can hit. Does Debo and Kittle sound a little better? Sure, but who's to say that Ayuk doesn't have a bigger game than Debo? How many lineups am I putting in? It's a good question. Last week I stopped at 40. Some weeks I do 60. Some weeks I do 80. It really depends if I see an edge. Like if I see like the tournament's not going to fill, I will pump as many as my fingers allow. But this week I'll probably stop around 30 just because there's less there's less combinations. So with the less amount of combinations, I feel that anything over a certain amount will be almost like a waste, right? 51,000 people this week, 25K for first. All right, perfect. So the last time we took it down, it was 25K for first. So that's why we didn't win the last 2 weeks. It was only 20K. So we're going to bring it back. We'll bring it back this week. Bring back the trophy. Let's see. I'm really curious, like down here, is there anyone down here that can really just surprise? And it really stops, I believe, with Justin Watson. You're not going to go lower than Justin Watson. Zach Pascal, like, he had 1 target. Not involved. He's not getting the snaps. If they're getting the snaps, we can make a case for him. Tevin Coleman, like, not on the field. Ray, he is on the field a little bit. He's like the punt return guy, but not super high upside, right? You want someone that could at least spike for down here 12 to 15. You're looking for a ceiling of 12 to 15. Trenton Irwin had a 2-touchdown game, which was just completely out of the blue. Not fully expecting that to happen again. Watkins didn't get a single target. MVS. Like, this is the most MVS stat line ever. Gets in the end zone, but still only gets 7 points. I think Tyler Boyd can surprise this week. I'm loving this 4 spot. Go QB, Scott. Go QB. Okay. Okay. All right. We're going to go Jalen Hurts and Jamar Chase just because I think this will be more and more rare as the week goes on. I think Chase is going to start to slip down here in front of Mahomes just because there's a fall off. It falls off at wide receiver. It falls off at running back extremely quick as well. And I think if there's a good chance if Cincinnati does get the lead, they're going to look to Mixon to chew the clock. So we do want some Mixon this week as well. Hot take, I want more Mixon than I want McCaffrey. And at the end here, I want more Elijah Mitchell than I want Gainwell, P. Ryan, and Miles Sanders. I'm going to try to get as many of these drafts in today, sort of get a nice little footprint on day 1 of these drafts. There was only about 1,000 entrants when I first started this morning. And let's kind of sort of get the lineups we want that we think that are going to be more rare later in the week. You're not going double tight end. Don't do it. You want Miles Sanders. Double running back. Debo, huh? Okay. That was going to be one of our picks. I'm going to go Goddard and Debo. Which would probably be the preferred option for people, I'm guessing. So Ayuk as a bring back. I'm cool with it. I am cool with it. I'm curious if they're really going to go the running route again against Philly, who had some holes in their defensive line. Washington Commanders ran the ball like 54 times on them and got the win on the ground, but then they shored up their defensive line. They brought in 2 big guys, and they sort of shored it up. So that's gonna be an interesting game, Philly versus San Fran. I think that's gonna be a really, really good matchup. It's gonna be a good test for Purdy again against a pretty solid defense. But you just have so many weapons. Like, how do you stop them all? He has 2 running backs, so he can't snipe Mitchell. He can, though. But does he really want to, Does he really want to? Pick your QB. Does it make sense? Yeah, okay. So one of our picks gets sniped. Not too mad about it. Tony can go off. He can have a 2 touchdown day. It's just got to fall in the realm of possibilities. If I had Burrow in the situation, I probably would have went double tight end. Brought in Hurst, second pass catcher. I like it. So we got a little bring back, a mini stack in this game. The double. Fine with it. It makes sense. Just have to create these lineups thinking, how can I come in first place, right? Does this lineup even allow me to come in first place? Jalen Hurts, we know, gets a lot of his points on the ground. He had a rushing touchdown the other day. So you get in first place with Jalen Hurts on the ground. Typically, even throughout the year when he was boning off those 30-point games, only one of his pass catchers was coming with him. When you check any of those Battle Royale first place finishes, it was like 3 weeks in a row with Jalen Hurts. And it was only one pass catcher, whether it was A.J. Brown or Devonta Smith. He never brought both of them into the winner's circle. So I don't think you have to double stack Jalen Hurts. Now in a short slate like this, maybe it hits, right? So I'm not completely against it as much with this smaller slate, but I'm not going to be forcing the issue trying to get that double stack with Jalen Hurts. Like A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. I would be more interested in A.J. Brown and Goddard or Smith and Goddard. I think they're going to have to put the ball in the air to win this game. So Joe Burrow goes, and we're going, oh man. We gotta plays through calf issue. I mean, avoid CMC right now? At a panic? At a panic to do that? Curious, if you think that's the wrong pick and we go chase McCaffrey there just because of rarity, let me know in the comments. Let me know if you think that's a mess up. But the way I see it is, Kelsey has a really strong chance of finishing tight end 1 this week. Jamar Chase has an extremely high probability of finishing as wide receiver 1 this week. Let's see if this guy goes Mahomes. If he doesn't go patty cake, this becomes extremely interesting. If he does go Mahomes, again, we pick Brock Purdy last. Okay, Kittle goes. And we could go Debo Ayuk. Let's see. I think he's just going to go Mahomes. And then he's going to have to try to find correlation. Because Mahomes is not going to be able to get there on the ground this week. I would be surprised that if they even did a QB sneak with him this week. Give me Debo. Everyone's been sniping Debo, so you know Debo's going to rise. Debo should be ahead of Jerick McKinnon. That's a fact. Wow. I don't mind last pick, Elijah Mitchell. Tyler Boyd gets sniped. Probably could have got him right here at 19. And you need 2 pass catchers, so crutches, I think you go Ayuk here. Unless you're planning on getting Juju, but I mean, it's kind of ugly, a little ugly. Tyler Boyd, not the highest ceiling guy on the board. Mahomes, Debo, Travis Kelce, Jamar Chase, like, it's almost like they just let me hand select my team. I mean, it's kind of ugly. It's kind of ugly. You can't really go 3 San Fran guys. It just, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, how does that lineup finish first if you have 3 people on San Fran, right? Wouldn't Purdy be elevated into the first place lineup? I think we go Mitchell. I think we go Juju here. How does this lineup finish first place? Well, Mahomes is going to have to throw the ball. We already determined that, and it's got to be to Juju and Travis Kelce. It could also be to Tony. Tony can get points. He can get 10 points. It doesn't kill this lineup. It elevates Patrick Mahomes. If Tony gets 18 and Juju gets 7, yeah, lineup's probably dead. But I don't mind that. Juju having a couple down weeks, like 3 or 4 in a row. It's waiting to pop off of that lineup. So does that lineup make sense? The way we constructed it, I would say it does. It makes perfect sense. And here we go with first pick. Man, I like Joe Burrow this week. First pick is rough, just because of where I am mindset-wise. I like Joe Burrow. I want to get him at 2 or 3 or even 4 where we got Chase Burrow. But picking at the 1 spot just seems tough. We can go Burrow. We can make this like a T. Higgins lineup. See if any of these guys fall. need perfect Patrick Mahomes off the board. Okay, good. So we're getting one of these 5. I don't care which one it is. I would fully expect the Jalen Hurts team to pick A.J. Brown. So CMC or Mixon. We should be getting Mixon here. Oh my God. I get it. I get it. You go Jalen Hurts. You don't necessarily need his pass catchers. You want one of them. He still has options with Goddard. San Fran, we saw what DK Metcalf did to them. They give up big plays against receivers. So A.J. Brown, yeah, a little dinged up. Still has the highest upside. Let's go. Kittle here. So we got our little mini stack. We're gonna kind of gamble to see if T. Higgins makes it back. Coming off 3 lackluster games, people look at that, especially badgeless people. No offense, if you don't have a badge, it doesn't mean a whole lot. The badge only means you donated more money to the pound and the pounders that are part of the pound, that make the pound, the mold. Hawk Boyd. Is he going Tyler Boyd? So this might be one of those lineups where we do bring in a Tyler Boyd as our wide receiver too. Isaiah Pacheco off the board. I like that. T. Higgins gone. That's fine. This guy's lineup doesn't make sense. That's cool. Kind of expected. Tyler Boyd off. Tyler Boyd gone. Little reach. All right, everyone. We're not going to reach for these wide receivers just yet. We're not going to reach just yet. This might be one of those home run hitting Juwan Jennings type drafts where the chances this finishes first just because of the way the chips fell. And again, that happens in the one spot. There's just so many picks that happen in between that it makes it a little tougher to guess, right? In this, we took a gamble with the Kittle pick. Definitely a gamble, but I would do it again because if we did get Higgins, it's a nice looking lineup. But if you're only doing like 10 of these, you would probably take the safer side of things and go A.J. Brown and Higgins. Obviously, we would have done that if we known Goddard would have come back as well. But you don't know at the time. Jay St. Amand, look at the lighting, he says. Welcome to the live stream, sir. Thank you for checking in. Yeah, we got lights. We got lights on lights. Looking like a goddamn strip club in here. Hold your change. I mean, you're gonna let Juju fall all the way. Yeah, I'm fine with it. It's ugly. So that's our worst lineup, I think, that we've had, and it's just those are gonna happen where it's just no one's really falling to, but then you'll have the other ones where they all fall right in your lap. So here we go again with the one spot. We'll see if we can make this a little different. I feel like just getting one of these, you have to have one of these 4 specifically. And I would say I'd even knock it down to one of these three. And in the 3 spot, in the 4 spot, I'm getting 2 of these 3 a lot of the time. So 3 spot, 4 spot, definitely my favorite places to draft. Let's see what we do in the 1 spot again. It's just... You can also plan like, all right, I want this to be my Purdy lineup. I am going to go ahead and select one of these positional players. And then at 8, 9, I can go, if everyone's already picked their quarterback at 2 through 7, you can go a Debo Ayuk, or you can go a Debo Kittle. So that's another way to really change up. So we'll try to go that route here, sort of show a little different strategy. So positional players going 2, 3. So maybe we do even end up with Burrow. Hurts off the board. Mixon off the board. Pairing with CMC. Joe Burrow. Reach for Purdy. Let's get a little Purdy reach. Be interesting, dude. Be different. Yeah, taking it all the way down because there's a lot to think about, right? Do, 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 do. Travis Kelce, you're probably going Mahomes, right? Devonta Smith. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Yep. We're doing it. I'm jamming it in there. We are jamming in the double stack. I think this is the week it hits. Against KC's defense, weakest defense remaining of the 4 teams against the pass. Not a snow game, hopefully. Let's actually wait. Let's wait and see. KC can get some weather, so if we could bring it back with one of the tight ends, that'd be nice. I'm not fully expecting it to happen. This guy goes ahead and selects 2 of them. So we will be reaching on a Hurst. Again, I hate the triple stack. It's been happening when you do go Joe Burrow, Chase, and T. Higgins. Hurst gets reached on. Fully agree. That's the right move. It's the right move. So we're going to end up with... let's see. We're going to end up with probably Noah Gray, which is fine. You don't love it. Let's go Pacheco here. Let's go Ayuk and Pacheco. You don't love it. Last pick's going to be Noah Gray. He shouldn't be selected. It feels so good to get that double stack, but there's always someone who goes in, stirs the pot. We'd even get Hurst on that one, which, yeah, three Bengals. Can it hit? Sure it can, because there's such a small, like, Hurst would only have to really outperform Goddard and Kittle, which Goddard going against number 1 defense. Kittle, who might be blocking a little more this game. They might want to abuse the run against Philly. So Hurst actually getting around 5-6 targets a game. What more can you ask for a tight end, especially in a busy offense? So, all right, let's chop that one up to Noah Gray needs to pretty much get in the end zone. He can go 1 catch, 5 yards, touchdown, 7 points, and I think that lineup still has a chance. Also interesting, you only have really like 4 starting tight ends, right? So it doesn't take a whole lot for a team to bust. Let's see what our fellow, yeah, I like that a lot. I'm gonna say our fellow Battle Royale winner with the goat horns on does. I'm gonna go Mixon Kelsey here. And I'm completely okay if this was going to be our Brock Purdy lineup. Fully aware that he can pick Mahomes and not really worried about it. We haven't got a Joe Mixon lineup going in a little bit, so I think we definitely want to be exposed to some Mixon this week. If they get up, they get on a little lead, they're going to lean on Mixon to chew up the clock. Keep the ball out of Mahomes' hands, especially if Mahomes has any difficulties with like just putting together long drives. Mixon's going to be a big impact player. He's just going so early. I can't get behind him going before like Kelsey, and I have a tough time picking like Chase over Mixon, especially this week. But on this running back slate, when we do get Mixon or CMC, I'm really avoiding. 3-headed back in Philly. Yeah, so Mahomes goes, that's fine. So this is going to be our Purdy lineup, which we don't have to pick him until last. So we can go Devonta Smith here and Ayuk. We already have our tight end. We already have our wide receiver. No, we need our 2 wide receivers. So this is going to be our Purdy lineup. We have our bring back play in Devonta Smith. We have a little mini stack between Kelsey and Mixon. Good chance Mixon finishes as RB1. Good chance Travis Kelsey finishes as tight end 1. AJ Brown a little banged up. So the lineup tells a story and it makes sense. So our last 2 picks, now we're just looking for upside. We are looking for upside. I doubt Goddard makes it back. We got 2 teams that need a tight end, so that's not going to happen. We could go Hayden Hurst. We could go Mitchell, which would be extremely strange because he's not really a pass catching back. You have CMC, but with CMC a little banged up, that could be an interesting play. This team's going Mitchell or Hurst. If he doesn't go Hurst, like the mean thing to do for me would go Hurst, but we're going to do whatever the right thing is. We're not really worried about other lineups. We're looking to increase our upside, not lower other teams' upside. So it's just kind of think about, we're going Brock Purdy and still need to think about it a little bit. Let's go Boyd. Let's go Boyd. Not really interested in Jawan Jennings. It's just kind of thin. It's kind of thin. At least we know Boyd's going to be on the field a whole hell of a lot more. So we let him get his Hurst. Kind of an ugly lineup, not gonna lie. Let's do one more for the people. Strictly for the people. Hey, Roto Run. What's going on, man? Wish you the best of luck. Dudes over at Badge Bros. Let's see what the boys over at the Badge want to do. They go CMC, so kind of putting off QB like everybody else, at least for this pick. Hurts off the board. I don't think he's going to be going Joe Burrow, but there's a chance, and if he does, we'll go Joe Mixon. Ha! Huh. Wait up. Wait up. It's okay. If he does go JoJo, we will bring it back with an AJ Brown. We're not going to go Higgins here again, where we get sniped again at tight end. It's too much pain. It's too much pain. So Higgins goes at 12. That's fine. I'd be cool with one of these guys coming back to us. We can put off for Isaiah Pacheco. We can put off for Elijah Mitchell as well. Debo goes. And I think there's a huge teardrop after Ayuk here. So we're going to bring in Ayuk. I'm cool with any of these, to be honest. It's probably going to look like this for this lineup. Isaiah Pacheco would be like the hedge bet, getting in the end zone once or twice on the ground. Jerick McKinnon, more of the guy I'm interested in if you have Mahomes as a pass catcher, because he's not really rushing the ball too many times, especially on the goal line. They will give the ball to Pacheco. So I think as long as he doesn't go Pacheco, which would be sort of weird. 3 KC guys, no Mahomes. Pacheco here to hedge the bet. I like the squad. So Now we're really looking, yeah, Tony or Juju for a KC player. You can even get MVS in there. We want to bring back player, I believe, in this KC game. One that is catching passes. If Juju goes, though, I'd almost be tempted to go Elijah Mitchell. I think he might have a better ceiling. Juju goes. I strongly believe Elijah Mitchell has a higher ceiling than MVS. This is a guy that can get in the end zone twice in one game. CMC banged up. Give it to me. Let's see if we get in another one with the badge bros. Just waiting to see if they join a draft. Yeah, I think that draft went pretty damn well. I think that told a good story of, you know, Isaiah Pacheco hedging the bet on KC pass catchers. Last pick with Mitchell, with CMC potentially injured. So I like that last draft. We will do one more if the badge bros jump into one. If not, which I'm fully expecting they do, we would end the stream here. I like drafting with sharps. I like drafting with people that know what they're doing. They're formulating teams that make their team the best. They're not so much drafting against everyone else in the lobby, because at the end of the day, you're trying to beat 51,000 other lineups. You're not just trying to beat the other 3 people in your lobby. So there is a lot of strategy that goes into it. What like you want to be thinking about? Yeah, what am I going to be sniped? What kind of team am I formulating? And does this pick help me, or am I picking it because it hurts another player in the draft? And that second one is really not the right way to draft, because, like we said, you're going up against 51,000 other lineups. So you want to draft to make your lineup the strongest. And sometimes when you're not drafting with the sharpest group, excuse me, when you're not drafting with the sharpest group, they will draft to block. So I think we might be in with the boys again. Nope, we are not. They lucked out. This will be our last one. Damn, one spot's so ugly. All right. Picking at 1 again. It's just so thin. The value's so thin at 1. Kelsey at 2. Fully agree with that. These QBs, I think, especially like Joe Burrow, should be going ahead of Jalen Hurts this week. I think Jalen Hurts is going to have some tough sledding, especially if A.J. Brown is banged up. That doesn't mean we want to fully avoid A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts, but I'm drafting Hurts at 3 or 4, and typically after Joe Burrow. And that's just me thinking of game script, me kind of just galaxy braining what I think is going to happen in these games. So all right. So board's looking like this. We got CMC, A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts, Joe Mixon. We wanted Mixon or Burrow, so we'll see if Burrow falls. I would think the Kelsey team would go Mahomes. If you're drafting Kelsey, you're sort of banking on Mahomes being healthy enough to get him the ball, right? Or it's not also a bad idea to go Kelsey and then go Burrow and T. Higgins. I also like that. Kind of something to think about. He says, no, no, sir. I'm going to go Miles Sanders. Thank you. Thank you. So 1, 2 teams need a tight end. Do we risk it again? Let's do this. Let's do this. We do this to ourselves every draft, I feel like. Let's risk it, and then tight end goes right off the board. All right, so there's Mahomes. I mean, I fully expect them not to be there, right? But I think the Devonta Smith pick makes more sense than T. Higgins. Let me explain. If we go T. Higgins here and both tight ends come off the board, then we're forced to do a triple stack with Hurst. By going Smith, at least if both of these tight ends come off the board, we don't have a triple stack, which is an extremely low % chance of hitting. Yeah. All right. I feel better about it still, even though. So we took the risk, and sometimes that's what you have to do in order to come up with like a super team. Ayuk off the board. Interesting. You definitely would have gone Ayuk there. So one of these picks is going to be Hurst. I think I'm going Pacheco. Pacheco going 11 for 25 and not catching a single ball. I mean, so we have our KC player. We have our double stack with Joe Burrow. We have our one-off play, and we might be bringing it back. Might be doing something like this. It's very thin down here. I think like MVS is as low as I would go, and MVS is still such a, in my opinion, such a low ceiling guy. So low. So Tony's really where I want to cap it off. McCole Hardman's interesting because he didn't practice a single time last week. So we can add Tyler Boyd to the bottom here. We can add Jerick McKinnon. It would be interesting to go a double KC running back stack. I don't know if it fully makes sense. I guess it could get there. So Hardman off the board, actually sort of like that for us. Purdy goes to the team that has Debo and Kittle. and CMC. I love that. I love that. You got Philly on the other side of the ball. That's a good lineup. That's a good lineup. I'm fine with either or. I really don't want Tyler Boyd, though. Can it hit? Sure. We'll go either or. We will go either or. One more for good luck. I hate picking at the one spot. Give us the 3. Give us the 4. I mean, it's 50-50, right? If we're 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, 50% chance. Let's end off on a good note. The 1. We're trying to leverage the field right now with early ADP, and we're just getting absolutely smoked by the man upstairs. The fantasy gods are saying, no, you will play nice with the badgeless homies on Underdog. I don't want to play nice. All right. I don't recognize any of these names, which might mean they are a little wild. If you guys made it this far, you're enjoying the stream, drop a like, drop any comments you have about, strengths or weaknesses from picking from 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. I'm happy to answer any questions in the comment section. Drop a sub if you like fantasy football and hit the bell for notifications so you know when we go live. Maybe you can hop in some of these with us. We don't have a lot of CMC. Let's mix it up. And by going CMC 2, this could be our Purdy lineup. We'll see who comes back to us. Anytime we try to plan something, someone would just third pick Purdy. It's all right, well, that's off the board. I like this. I really do think this is sharp, going Joe Burrow over Jalen Hurts. And you guys can roast me in the comments. Please do, if Jalen Hurts just completely destroys Joe Burrow in the stat sheet. 2 running backs would be interesting here. I don't think it's going to happen. They both already have QB. Okay, 1 away. Joe Burrow. He might not want Mixon. I think this is interesting. But how... I feel like this is going to be super common. But I still like it. Just because it's a common start doesn't mean it won't hit. You can find a way to get different. Try to galaxy brain. This is great. Drafting with coffee and you is a dangerous game to play. Holy smokes, it's dangerous. I'm ready to open a can of whoop ass over here. So this is going to be our Purdy lineup. It will be a 2 running back lineup. Unless... So here we can either go Pacheco, Juju, or Tony, in my opinion. I think this is super thin. I don't 3 double, triple stack. I think it's thin, but let's go Pacheco here. He ran really well last week. It's thin, but shit, anything can hit, right? and Brock Purdy just needs to spread the ball like like he's been doing, and the pass catchers just sort of do the rest for him. All right, fellas, you made it this far. Appreciate you guys. Hope you learned a thing or two, and I wish you the best of luck this week on Underdog. Always fun. Last week we had really good results for the mitten and the gauntlet. We have 10 lineups moving forward, which was just over pace for percent-wise, but it's a good thing because the way we drafted was we went heavy one team with the other side quarterback, and we have a lot of teams where we have 8-9 players in play. We obviously could have done a lot better if we drafted just to win this round to make a little bit of money, which is another strategy people are doing, and they're drafting from all different teams, and that way they would make that little bit of money. But yeah, I'm super excited to share the results with you guys on that for next week, and we will do this again probably tomorrow, and we'll see if we can get some other pounders on here like Tyler or Johnny to help us with these drafts and sort of break down how we think these championship games are going to go. Guys, thank you again.